We have the crew from Sinners But Saved. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the church Kickback.
Yo, my name is Jesse, so I just killed some guys' ears. I'm from Sinners But Saved podcast, and we're about to do something called an open mic session. So if you are doing nothing right now, feel free to come and hop on the podcast. This is going to be going on our socials. So if you want to be on a podcast for the first time, if you have something you want to say about your faith or about your story or something that you've enjoyed when growing closer to God, feel free to come on. We'd love to invite any of you guys to come up. We are Sinners But Saved. We started back in about March or February last year. We are a faith-based podcast. We are from the Blue Mountains. It's all about Jesus. It's all for the glory of God. We love doing this. We love doing these episodes. And what we're going to do is we have a bowl of questions, and if you come up, you will get a free sticker, you get a free lolly, you might get more. So if you are free, you want food, you want stickers, you want anything, please come around now. We're going to find a question right now. I'm going to put my hand in the bowl. We're going to get craziest God story. Does anyone want to answer this question? Who has a crazy God story that they'll love to speak on the podcast? Does anyone have a crazy God story? Has anyone got a crazy God story? If anyone doesn't have a crazy God story, we'll go to a different question. Has anyone got a crazy God story?
Slowly.
Yeah. Do you want to come up?
Let's go, brother.
Let's go.
Yeah, good. All good. What's your name? Just turn this on.
My name is Kevin.
Very nice to meet you, Kevin. And what's your craziest God story?
So I guess I'll just share my testimony
Yeah.
because it is kind of crazy, I think.
Yeah.
So long story short, I grew up in the Catholic Church. So, I always saw Jesus hanging on the cross, but I never knew who he was. And when I had just turned 16, I watched my mom die right in front of me.
Yeah, wow.
And so when I saw that, I turned my back on God and the church, and I went down my own path. And I fell into being an agnostic, and I actually fell into witchcraft, and I actually hated God. And so, long story short, I spent 5 years in and out of jail, rehab, and sober living multiple times. And New Year's Eve 2017, going into New Year's Day 2018, I was sitting in my truck contemplating suicide. I was about to kill myself because I couldn't get sober when God spoke to me for the very first time through a still small voice, and he said, "Wake up." So I woke up and he said, "If you keep going down this road, you'll end up dead or in jail, or you can surrender everything and come follow me." And I had no idea what that looked like because I didn't grow up a Christian, but I was like, okay, God, here's the alcohol, here's the drugs. God completely set me free with no desire to ever go back, even until this day.
Yeah, come on. That's so good. Yeah, thank you for telling that story, man. And I think that's awesome how you spoke on surrender. I feel like that's such an awesome aspect of following Jesus. I think everyone would agree that surrendering is something that is so critical to coming to know Christ. And thank you for telling that story. That's amazing, man. But yeah, I love that aspect. And I can see in your character and in your growth, even just speaking to you for 30 seconds, I can see something amazing in you, man. That's really awesome. And thank you for saying that message. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming up. Yeah. All right, we're going to go on the bowl for another question. Then we're gonna go. Alright, we got funniest moment at youth. Who has a funny moment at youth? Does anyone have a moment at youth that was just absolutely hilarious? Had them all laughing? Anyone? If not, I know a funny moment at youth. I remember one time in my first ever summer camp, I was convinced by the senior boys to get wrapped up in cling wrap and thrown down this massive hill. And I was all good in the end. But it was definitely an experience for my first summer camp. We'll look at another one. Does anyone have a best youth moment? It could be a best moment that would have been in youth, like worship moments, best moment in praise. Does anyone have a favorite moment they had in youth group or even church? Anyone have a moment in church that was critical for their faith? Yeah, do you want to come up?
Hi.
How's it going?
So good, thank you. Best moment was probably a worship moment. We were doing like this kind of soaking moment where it was just instrumental. I was in my final year at youth, and somebody was telling me, oh, you should really be a youth leader, but I was like, no, there's no chance, like I can't do it, I do not want to do that, that's not my path. And then I had this like vision, it was so vivid, and it was Jesus and I like dancing on the waves, and then he like knelt down and he proposed to me, and I was like, oh Jesus, you're so beautiful, like thank you for proposing to me. And he opened the door, he opened the little box thing, and it wasn't a ring, it was his beating heart. It was like a heart transplant had just happened.
That's awesome.
And it was so beautiful, and I was like, wow, God, you're really just giving me your heart for this generation, this heart, your heart for like that was when a lot of passion started to burn within me. Like I had nothing really that I wanted to do at that age, and I guess maybe that's why I didn't really want to do youth leadership. I'm not sure, but it was just like this really critical moment in my journey, and I think back about that heart all the time, like Father, just show me your heart for these people.
For sure. I think it's amazing that give a hand to that. That's awesome. I think the heart of God is something that you will never understand, but his overwhelming love is something that, as you've said in your testimony in that, and also in my own life, the love of God, it's just so, it makes no sense. He always is just loving in us and showing his grace, and he did the greatest form of love, and he went up on that cross for each and every one of us, and I think that's one of the most amazing things, and we praise God for that, and I think it's one of the biggest blessings is being able to live in that love every single day. But thank you so much for telling that story. Thank you for coming up. Alrighty, we'll go to another one. Okay, we got a more soccer themed question for this one. We have we've got, what Bible characters would you have on your soccer team? If you had to make a soccer team of Bible characters, does anyone have a XI that would use? I know, I think I would have Samson. Samson was quite strong, or Goliath. I think Goliath, he would be a pretty good player to have on my team. Maybe in defense, or maybe in goalkeeper, since he was like 9 feet tall or something like that. That's all good. Alright, we have a best camp story. So I think a lot of us went on summer camps growing up, or spring camps, or winter camps. Does anyone have a camp story that was either pivotal for them, or a funny story, or something that they really enjoyed about camp that's contributed to their story? Does anyone have one of those? So we're gonna get Trent up. I'm gonna put Trent on the spot. There you go.
Funniest, what was it?
Just best camp story.
Camp story. I've got a lot of good ones. Actually, I got a funny one.
Yeah.
So this was about 2 years ago on summer camp, and about 2 months before, I had a really bad mountain bike crash and was in hospital for about 3 days with a concussion. But then, once the camp all was fine, and we were playing tip, and one of my mates decided it was a good idea to not just tip people, but to tackle people. So we were playing tip, and I was running on a bit of concrete, and keep in mind, I'd had a concussion 2 months before, and this guy comes up from behind me, drops me on my head, and I basically was like out of it for at least 30 seconds. But then God came through, and I was all good the next day, and still had a great time on camp. So that's probably my funniest, best story.
Yeah, I still actually remember this moment because we were in the same cabin for this.
Yeah.
And our cabin was a bit of a shamble. This dude nearly went to hospital and everything.
It went really bad.
It did, yes. Thank you for telling the story. That's a very good camp story. Awesome. We love summer camps. We'll go with another question. All right. Does anyone want to say their testimony? It's a very, very out there story, a very out there question. But if anyone wants to tell their testimony, would love to hear it. Absolutely, anyone has a story about how they came to know Christ, would love to hear it. It's all good. If not, all right. I'll tell my own testimony. So I have been a Christian. I've lived in a Bible church-going family since I was born. Both my parents go to church, and I always grew up with it around me. It was always around me. It was a big part of my life. But the thing about it is, I didn't really have a relationship with Jesus. I was very part of religion. I'd be at youth on Fridays. I'd be at church on Sundays. But I would never really understand what I was doing. I was more doing it to see my mates, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I didn't understand the relationship of knowing Jesus personally. I didn't know that, and I would say I loved God, and I would say that, and those things. I think I meant experience it, but I didn't truly understand or know that love. I didn't know him personally. And I think it took me many years. It took me until getting to a summer camp when I was 14 years old. And I remember for the first time, I used to deal with a lot of homesickness and a lot of anxiety. And I prayed, Lord, for the first time, can you give me peace, your peace? Peace, it's not going to be something that lasts for a few minutes, but is always there. And I remember praying for that peace, and I remember walking outside. It had been storming all summer camp, and for the first time on that camp, there was no storming, but I could see it all around. We were in the eye of the storm, but there was no rain. And it just reminded me that even in the midst of the storm, there's still peace. He's still with us. He will always be with us. His love's there. His grace is there. And I remember in that moment just really understanding what it meant to have a relationship with God for the first time. And then going on that journey and meeting people, understanding Him more and more, going through different seasons and situations and understanding His nature and character every single day through all the things I've been through. And then getting to the point where I'm now studying youth ministry at Youth Live Academy, if you guys know what that is. Plug them. And then also with that, getting to work at my church, getting to do awesome things. It's a blessing that I'll always give to God. I thank God for every single thing He's done in my life constantly, because I would not be here without Him. I always see myself, my identity, my entire self cannot be made full without God. It needs God to be fully completed. Yeah, but that's my testimony. We'll go to the questions again. Also, for the people, I actually forgot to give stickers and lollies out, so I'll come back to you guys afterwards. But we'll ask another question. All right, we've got favorite Bible character and why. Who has a favorite Bible character? Yeah, do you want to come up? Do you want to hold this as well? What's your name?
I'm Evie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I think my favorite Bible character is definitely Paul, other than Jesus, obviously. But Paul, because I just love the way that guy writes. Like, if you've ever read Galatians, you'll see that he literally calls them foolish, and it's like, and the way that he writes, he's also just so rhetorical as well. So he's like, oh, so like God gives us grace, so that just means we have to go and sin? No, absolutely not. Like, I just feel like he really clocks me a lot of the time whenever I like read all of his books, and I'm just very inspired by the way that he literally went from a murderer all the way to like one of the most influential like apostles of his time, and then like of all time. And yeah, so it's just pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Paul the GOAT. Yes, it's crazy. When I think about it, I love how our name is Sinners But Saved. I think Paul definitely encapsulates, that is definitely know how you pronounce that, the entirety of what it means to be a sinner but saved, going from being a persecutor of Christians to completely turning his life around. But thank you for coming up. That's good. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think my favorite Bible character would have to be David, King David. The goat took down Goliath. But we'll go to another question. For everyone, I keep on forgetting, so you get your stickers and lollies afterwards. What is one moment that brought you closer to God? This might be something part of your testimony, this might be something recently, but does anyone have a story of something that brought them closer to God, whether it was recently or something that's happened maybe a couple years ago? If anyone has a story that's brought them closer to God, feel free to say it. Yeah, I don't know if Tim's about to come up or not. Oh, good if not. We'll go to another question. Alright. So we got a lot of artists today. We're going to ask them, what is their best worship song and why? Who has a favorite worship song? Why is it their favorite worship song? I feel like there's always worship songs coming out a lot lately, which is awesome. But does anyone have a favorite worship song and a reason why? Yeah.
Now sit down.
Yeah, maybe someone else. How was your name?
My name's Michaela.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. My favorite worship song at the moment is Yeshua by Upper Room.
Yeah.
I love Upper Room. They're so good.
For sure.
But yeah, that's my favorite song.
That's
Even though
all
it's
good.
like Yeshua being repeated for 10 minutes, I feel like it just gets to the point.
Yeah.
And just like simple basic worship is all that is needed, like to bring to the feet of the Lord. So.
That's so good. Yes, very nice. Well, thank you for coming
No
up.
problem.
Yeah, you guys. There's so many good worship songs. I think my favorite one of all time would have to be, who knows the song, What a God by SEU Worship. That's a very good song. But yes, we go to another question. We got, alright, what is an animal you wished wasn't on the ark? I can think of plenty. I remember we were speaking about this on the way here. Mosquitoes, I don't know why they were on the ark. Flies, oh my goodness. But oh well, does anyone have an animal that they really wish didn't didn't make it onto the ark? Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, what's your name?
My name's Joyce.
Nice to meet you.
The animal that I wish was not on the ark was a roach. I hate roaches with every part of my soul. Oh my god. At our church, like after 9 o'clock, they just start crawling out of the cushions, and I can't stand it. It's disgusting. And they fly too. That's why
They fly.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's interesting. Yeah, I think roaches are disgusting. We had a moment on our podcast once where there was a roach that was full, running around the ground when we were trying to record. It was not it. It was not a good moment. But thank you for coming up. I appreciate that. All right. Got a few more questions. All right. What is someone's favorite, greatest praise and worship moment? Praise and worship always goes off. I know we have we do a mosh pit thing at our youth group, and it is always a lot of fun. Does anyone have a fun praise and worship moment that they've just been like, that was absolutely insane? Does anyone have one? That's all good. I think one of my favorite ones is we had a guy that finished up. He was our leader at a youth group for probably about 17 years. What he did for the last one is we have all these instruments in this back room, and we literally got every single instrument out and had all our young guys playing it in the mosh pit and worshiping God. I think the praise party went for 6 songs or something like that. It was awesome. Yeah, it's always been good. Has anyone here been to all of us, the Youth Alive event? That it's always been good. Yeah, it's awesome. All right. We've got another question. Greatest youth games moment. Does anyone have a fun or a greatest youth game moment where they're just that was insane? Maybe Tribal Wars. Does anyone here do Tribal Wars for camp or something? Yeah. Does anyone have a good moment for when they had an awesome time in youth games? I'm gonna invite Trent up again.
I think one of the greatest moments that I was a part of for youth games was probably when it was summer camp, and we did this it's like a rap battle between each tribe. It was really fun, but I think the reason why it was my favorite moment was because we got to see everyone kind of collaborate together. We got to see everyone use their talents and skills. One of our guys made his own beat for our rap battle. It was just really sick to see everyone come together and create something out from nothing, Yeah. Yeah, it was really sick. I think you were there, but
yes,
you were on the other team that won. So.
Yes. Yeah, it was good. Do you have a favorite tribes moment?
Tribes moment. That was tribes.
Oh, yes, it was.
It was
I
tribes.
completely forgot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we tribes. We go to the same church, and tribes is definitely a moment where it's good fun. We have a great time.
100%.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
We've got one more question in here. Who has a favorite Bible verse and why?
Yeah.
I know my favorite is Jeremiah 29:11. I probably quote it in every single time I've ever been up on stage ever. I love that verse so much. Or Psalm 23. I've got it here on my cross necklace right now. Verses that have meant a lot to me in my life. I know Psalm 23 was told by my worship pastor when I was a couple of years ago when I was going through the end of high school, understanding where he was leading me and understanding for the first time what it meant to have the Lord as my shepherd. But yeah, has any one of these guys that's just come from the soccer game, do you guys have a favorite verse and why?
What kind of particularly?
It doesn't look like. Oh, you got a favorite verse?
I do know.
Yeah, what's your favorite verse?
Let's see if I can use it better this time.
Alright.
So I like Proverbs 29:18. It says, without vision, the people perish. Another translation says, without revelation from God, the people cast off restraint. So it's kind of like why you see people going from job to job to job, or relationship to relationship to relationship. Why? Because they don't have any vision for their life. And what does vision do? It keeps you on track. It keeps you from going to the left or to the right. It keeps you straight. So
that's so good. Yeah, man, that's so good. Yeah, I think understanding God's vision is so important. I think that's so I think it's been vital for my life as well. Like, there's been plenty of times where like people can distract you from God's vision or make you lean towards a way that's not his way, and then understanding, coming back to the forepoint of what he's calling us to life. That's so good. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. All right, thank you. All right, we're gonna ask a question that wasn't here before. Jonah, you're coming up. All right, what's your favorite youth moment, Jonah, of all time?
Do I got the mic?
Yeah, you have this as well.
Hey guys, I'm Jonah Theodore. I go to a church called Altar Church. Very great church. Shout out, thank you, Nikhil and my guy. Favorite youth moments. I have two. So we're not like a new youth ministry, but recently we've gone through like so many changes. And what happened was I was leading with my two boys. Now one of my boys is my new youth pastor, Elijah Theodore, who runs Regenerate Football. And we were outside with our youth boys, and we don't have a big youth, and especially back then it was way smaller. And we were sitting there and we asked questions after a lady called Phoebe Nash, who runs testimony tapes, preached at our youth, and she smashed it. And she talked about seasons. And we asked the boys, what season are you guys in? And they just gave incredible answers. And what like my leaders and I do sometimes is like we always give each other like the side eye. We're like these guys are smashing it. And I've never seen them just speak life, speak just Christ's love in that connect group. And we just saw a new thing happen. And we were in that connect group, and I was like, bro, boys, something's changing here. And it was incredible. And since then, woo. But obviously sometimes ups and downs, but that youth moment was amazing. Another one as well was just seeing youth pray for each other. I don't think there's anything more incredible. Elevation Youth did a documentary in 2023, and they taught about how they said one of their most biggest revelations was that us as youth leaders, as leaders to these who are growing up in the faith, are just to lead them and then let them go. Soon it's not our faith anymore, it's their faith. And what happened was, we just saw them say, you know what, well, let's let go of their control over them and let them do their thing. And we just saw breakthrough. And I just brought a tear to my eye genuinely, because I just never expected that to happen. And yeah, bro, those two, you know, shout out to youth.
So good. Shout out. Thank you so much for your hands.
My guy!
Too good. We're going to go back to another question we said before. Does anyone that's just come here have a favorite, funniest youth moment? Does anyone have a super funny youth moment that was just like cackling, having a good time? Does anyone have one? Or does anyone have, if you had a soccer, so the people that just played soccer, I don't know what the results were. If you had one person you could put on the soccer team from the Bible, out of the Bible characters, who would you take? Who would you take? Has anyone got an answer? David, yeah. Say your name's Kayla?
Kayla.
Nice to meet you.
I would pick John because he ran faster than Peter.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right, yeah. That's good, yes. Very nice. Yes. Or maybe you need Simon Peter, get that aggression in. Get the aggression in the team as well. He'd be good on defense. Yeah, very good. Does anyone, I think we're going to be wrapping up soon, but does anyone have anything they would like to share? This is going to be going online to who knows might see this. So if you have something that's been on your heart, you have something that you would like to share to people all around the world or wherever this is going to go, please feel free. Like, this is your chance to say something. So if you have something you want to say, like, feel free to come up right now. Does anyone have anything they want to share? So, yeah. It's going. What's your name?
What's good? My name's Haynes.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Jesse. Very nice to meet you. Yes. Yeah, what would you like to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to share just about God's faithfulness even when he doesn't come through for answered prayer.
Yeah.
You know, I've been praying for something recently, and a few people know that. Like, I've been praying for a job, and I got the news back that I didn't get it. And I was like, man, God, I really sought you for this. You know, you say ask and you shall receive, all of the things. But ultimately I had to realize that at the end of the day, like Jesus prayed, Father, if you can, take this cup from me. But at the end of the day, not my will, but yours be done.
Yeah.
And so I realized that even when I was asking, I was like, Lord, I really want this, but you know, not my will, but yours be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to encourage everyone, with your prayers, if you don't get what you believe is good for you, just remember God is a good father, and he knows what's ultimately good for you that you can't ever know yourself. So
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
No
Yeah.
worries. Thanks
And I
for
feel like
having
that takes a lot of strength as well. Yeah, and having that faith and that confidence to know that His will is going to be better than anything that we could want or look for. And even when it doesn't go our way, we know that He has a better way.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for coming
100%,
on.
100%.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more? Okay, all good. Well, thank you for having us. We are Sinners But Saved. My name is Jesse, that's Trent. There's Tiernan over here. We are from the Blue Mountains. Thank you for having us and have a very, very nice evening. Thank you.
Hey, shout out to Sinners But Saved.